Hi friends, today we are going to be using area problems to solve division problems. So you know we're going to be dividing. Now we have two fourth graders, just like yourselves, trying to solve the same problem. And I'm going to be showing you different ways you can solve this problem or solve the problems using ways you're familiar with. The first way is with, obviously you can tell, is a ratio table. Okay? There are some key things you always want to know. Since we're dividing, you should know that when we divide, we always have our end number. So I'm going to look at my ratio table and find a number that doesn't have a partner. In here, it's 450. So you know, because that one does not have a partner, that we are going to be dividing 450 divided by something. Okay, we're also going to be looking for what that something is. What are we going to be dividing our number by? Well, in a ratio table, I always like to look for the number 1. And what do you know? We have a number 1. This 1 represents how many groups we have, and on the bottom is how many in each group. Well, if I have one group, for this case, I have 3 things in that group. So this is telling me that I'm dividing 450 divided by 3. So I know that this is my equation. It's very important to know what problem you're actually solving for. Okay? Now, as you can see, we've already done some work for you. So what we're actually going to be doing is no dividing. We're just going to be using multiplication. On the bottom, these are the numbers we are going to jump to get to 450. On the top, these are going to be the numbers that are going to tell us how many groups there are in 450. So that's like saying I have 450 cookies and I'm giving them to 3 groups. How many cookies in each group? Okay, so they've done some things for us. So they first did a jump of multiplying by 5 to get 5 groups. And well, whatever I did to the 1 to get to my 5, I do to my 3. So because I multiplied 1 by 5 to get 5, I have to multiply 3 times 5 to get 15. Well, then they said, well, I know 1 times 10 is 10, and 3 times 10 is 30. See, we're getting closer and closer and closer. Now, I have to get to 450. So, take as many jumps as you need, but the bigger the jumps you can take, the quicker you'll get to your answer. So, as I'm looking here, I notice that, 30 times 10 equals 300. That's pretty close to 450. Well, whatever I do to the bottom number, I have to do to the top. Okay, 10 times 10 is 100. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to parcel these off. So now I'm at 100. Okay, I need to get to 450. If I had 300 cookies and 3 cookies in each group, I would have 100 groups of 3 cookies. But I need to get 450. So I'm always looking at my numbers. Okay, I'm looking, I'm at 300. I need 450. Okay, I need 150 more. That's what I'm thinking in my head. So I look at the bottom numbers. Are there any of these numbers that I can use using multiplication to get to 150? All right, well, I see something. I'm going to change colors. I notice 15, if I just place a 0 after 15, that's 150. So I'm going to kind of use that knowledge. So I'm going to take 15, underneath here, and make that 150. Well, I know that if I just place a 0, that means I multiply by 10. So now you're looking at that purple. So because I multiplied 15 by 10, I have to multiply its partner, 5, by that same thing. So I'm 5 times 10. All right, well, I know that's easy. Oops, I'm sorry. 5 times 10, not 5 times 5. I know 5 times 10, that's easy, is 50. Okay, so now again, I'm looking at my numbers. I want to look at my bottom numbers because those are the numbers I'm going to try to add to get to 450. So I'm looking around to see if I can make 450. Well, and what do you know? I've got 300 and I have 150. 300 plus 150 is 450. Okay, so I'm going to use those partners to help me. Well, 100 plus 50 is 150. So that must mean that 450 divided by 3 equals 150. Because I multiplied my numbers to get combinations to make 450. And whatever combinations I use to make 450, that helps me find my quotient or my answer to my division problem. If you're still not sure if 450 divided by 3 is 150, well, just like with subtraction, division has a check your answer problem too. You take your quotient right here. Your quotient is your answer, 150. And you can multiply it by your divisor. In this case, it's 3, what you're dividing by. We're dividing by 3. And if you multiply those together, you should get what we call a dividend, what's being divided. So let's look. I know 3 times 0 is 0. I know 3 times 5 is 15. Carry that 1. I know 3 times 1 is 3, plus 1 is 4. Hey-o! 450. So we can be confident that 450 divided by 3 is 150. That is how you can use a ratio table to solve for division.